Hey guys, what is up? Kevin Cage back with another cryptocurrency video. If it's your first time to the channel, for daily news and info on the digital asset space, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and let's get right into it. So, to start things off, we're actually going to be talking about a proposal that Ryan Zagone of Ripple, and again, he is the Director of Regulatory Relations, and this was back in 2016, submits a proposal to the Faster Payments Task Force. And so what we're going to do is just go over a few bullet points, and this was shared by XRPist. It's XRPist on Twitter, so check him out. And this is just another connection, one of the many, between FedNow and Ripple. As we can see here, just a few points to be made as well about Ripple and the technology. And again, this has been in the works for a long time. It's not just some altcoin that appeared, in 2017 before the bull run. We're talking, 5 years before that at least. So Ripple settles in real time, less than 1 second, 24/7, 365. Ripple's technology allows for settlement of funds to happen synchronously across not just the originating and beneficiary FIs. The synchronicity of settlement, what we refer to as an atomic settlement, ensures that either the funds are settled across the entire chain or the funds are immediately returned to the payer. So that's atomic settlement. There can never be a situation where one leg of the payment settles and the next leg fails. Now, again, 24/7, 365, a solution available all the time. This is exactly what I believe he's the chairman or the CEO of SIA, and they're launching SIA Chain as well. And they really are in charge of a bunch of infrastructure for banks throughout Europe as well. And they're connected to, well over at least 589 banks. If not, I'm sure the clientele is growing. They're doing a fantastic job. And what he's talking about is, banks need infrastructure that is on and running at all times. And in my opinion, that's exactly why decentralized or distributed technology is the next best step, because there's not going to be a centralized authority controlling everything. They'll be able to function all the time, and just kind of go around the current workarounds and hurdles today. And I even think that multi-hop will be a really, really cool example as well in the future with Ripple's network. All right, and then liquidity management, of course. Ripple provides the flexibility to use multiple liquidity models as opposed to the FX being dictated by the single correspondent as is done today. Lastly, using Ripple, the FIs that have their own trading desk or Nostro relationships can continue to use their own liquidity to fund the payments. However, banks can also access liquidity provided by trusted third parties, broadening payment reach without having to hold capital with an intermediary or in another country. Exactly. And when sourcing liquidity from the marketplace, Ripple selects the authorized provider with the lowest cost, FX, or the lowest FX cost, however you want to word it, incentivizing efficiency and competition. As we can see a closer look, we can see exactly where Ripple fits today in this model with liquidity providers between the sending and receiving banks. And this design eliminates the risk of a failed payment occurring midway through the chain of intermediaries and provides banks visibility into fees, payment status, and timing of each payment. Now, keep in mind, this is literally where XRP will come into play, right here. So again, Ripple's key capabilities are designed to lower the risk and total cost of cross-border payments. And again, I know we talk about, the benefits of bidirectional messaging and kind of compare, RippleNet's software products versus, Swift's today. But I digress. Next, Matthew Linney on Twitter. R3 partners with SAB or SABB to revolutionize trade. So as we can see here, blockchain technology has the potential to revolutionize trade. And this was on August 7th of 2019. And again, SABB or SAB is the Saudi British bank, and total assets well over $10 billion. And an interesting little thing to know about them is that they are also owned 40%. 40% of them is owned by HSBC Holdings, which of course we already know is a RippleNet partner. You can see the dots being connected already. So I'm just going to refer to them as SAB. So SAB, again, by Otto Gunger or Gunger, Gunger. So sorry if I'm butchering that, but thank you. So SAB is one of the 3 banks approved by the central bank to test connections with Ripple for instant settlement of cross-border transfers using blockchain technology. We have just gone live end of December 2018. And so we have the source here if you want to check that out. So it's good to see that. And again, Matt Linney goes on to say, Saudi Arabia is going all in on cross-border transactions and global trade finance using XRP. And keep in mind, I mean, this is happening. We are seeing these Ripple and Net partners signed up each and every day. I'm really, really excited for the next quarter to see the financial reports and see how many production contracts have been signed and, kind of a timeline for that, because it's simply a matter of time. Next, I Am Legion. So I know I've went over this a little bit, but I do want to cover another screenshot that I saw. So I Am Legion on Twitter. Boom, 30 banks plans into live operation among top 50 banks, a consortium, perhaps R3. So as we can see, Ripple solution for cross-border solutions. And of course, we already know Ripple's proven technology, various proof of concepts. 30 banks have already completed pilots and are actively looking and, working on that, progressing plans to extend live into operation, including a group of several banks who are forming an alliance to build a cross-border payments network. And these are old screenshots, by the way. These banks are drawn from the top 50 banks globally, broadly configured to enable wide geographic reach with one bank per geography, each with access to local domestic clearing systems. The Ripple Enterprise solution is mature enough to launch and scale a cross-border payments network, and a consortium of banks is forming to use this Ripple technology to keep ahead of competition. What a great find. And then right here, conclusion by Accenture, and I've already talked to you about this. Global trade runs at about $24 trillion per year. This is not going to migrate to a new commercial payments network overnight or even over 5 years. And the degree of migration will be dependent on various factors, on competition from other alternatives. It will take time. A new payment network needs to be designed to be ready to launch and to scale steadily. It does not need to be designed before launch for full volumes and full participation. So that's the good thing as well. So we can gradually build it over time, start going live. We already have some people live on XRapid, but again, these are small transactions. Wait until, MoneyGram starts really scaling up, and this is exactly what we need. And as we know, we're not worried because XRP can scale better than any digital asset, so I'm not concerned. And we have these live payment rails building liquidity each and every day. And again, source, World Trade Center, 2016, Accenture. So 3 years back. So I'm curious to see where we're at today because you haven't heard much. Next, and I'm sorry if I don't know how to pronounce this last name, but it's Michael, and then last name is Nardolillo. And we were just talking about Sendfriend. So again, XRP Research Center is actually asking a question to this gentleman, payments fintech blockchain and CEO and founder at Sendfriend. So David Lighton, and he said, "Could you please share with us if Sendfriend has any plans to run an XRP ledger validator in the near future? It would be awesome to see companies like yours contributing to the decentralization of the XRP ledger. Thanks." And again, we're kind of speculating what kind of volume we're seeing. And again, Michael goes on to say very little. They are live in New Jersey only as of now. And again, here they are. They are live, but in one state. And, again, XRP villain, I wonder why they're restricted to one state. And he says, well, they've been alive for around 2 months, and this is literally like the other day. And as you can see, they're only licensed in New Jersey. Financial institutions have strict regulatory compliance to keep in mind. And again, as he goes on to say, network effects on RippleNet. Ripple wants as many partners and users as possible, and growth potential as a new age financial institution using new technology, which isn't constrained by old business models. Barclays, the 10th largest bank in the world, and Mastercard both also own stake in Sendfriend Inc., which was the initial target audience for XRapid. And keep in mind, initial target audience, we need low value, high frequency payments, back and forth, back and forth. All right, and so very, very interesting. And again, Ripple, he's just going on to say that by doing this and starting small, Ripple is in no way trying to limit themselves. They want every financial institution they can get, from tier 3 banks to remittance providers to tier 1 banks. And so this is just the process, slow and steady, guys. All right. And again, let's see what Michael finishes off here. Exactly just like they did with Flash FX, when the gateway strategy was Plan A, MoneyGram has an old business model that will have to shift to fully utilize the new way to move money. Smaller financial institutions just starting can start with the new model off the bat. Ripple wants the next MoneyGram as well. Well said. Next, Corey Johnson at Corey TV. I know the XRP community is focused on the impact of Facebook's Libra, but this Mastercard deal could be even more important to Ripple's ecosystem. If nothing else, it's validation that real-time payments is clearly the coming wave. That's what I've been saying probably for, the past 3 months. And I know a lot of people agree, just like Matthew Linney here. Right here, Swift announces independent company in China. And this just happened the other day. So, FTA. The company will foster the extension of the international use of the renminbi and increase connectivity between the Chinese financial industry and the international market, as well as between financial institutions. And I think this is Ray Zariah says. So as we're seeing steady progress in China as well. Peter Schiff again, just talking. The Reserve Bank of New Zealand's 50 basis point rate cut to a record low 1%, simply to prevent the New Zealand dollar from strengthening and the costs of living from rising too slowly, was insane. Central bankers have lost their minds. Soon everyone will be buying gold and silver. And again, all about precious metals, but he's completely neglecting digital assets. And I think precious metals, sure, they should absolutely hold value. I believe they're intrinsically valuable. But again, digital assets have much more utility in the new space. And I should follow Peter. Oops. I've always, listened to him for a long, long time too, probably 10 years at least. But anyways, next. Shared by Esfanitz. So ESFANITZ. And this is cool. So Executive Order 6102. If you think gold, silver ownership will not be outlawed during a time of crisis, you are very ignorant to our government. Even governments in general and foreign. Digital assets cannot be confiscated, so they're secure and stored in offline wallets. They are truly world currencies. And again, obviously you can hide, your precious metals, but just an interesting thought. And another thing, that you can truly own your digital assets, granted that they aren't on any exchange. And if you get a cold wallet, again, we have Ledger Nanos, highly recommend, but those, again, that runs you some money, but links are in the description if you want to secure your assets. But again, it just depends if you actually want to own them, because if you do not own your private keys, you do not own your cryptocurrencies. Next, Matthew Linney. Standard Chartered executes first blockchain-based letter R3 Voltron. And again, right here, as you can see, blockchain-based letter of credit transaction on Voltron. Voltron, a blockchain-based open industry platform, aims to address these challenges by enabling digital creation, exchange, approval, and the issuance of LCs on Corda, R3's blockchain platform. Standard Chartered is one of the founding members of Voltron, and I know we've talked about Voltron in the past, alongside Bangkok Bank, BNP Paribas, CTBC, HSBC, ING, NatWest, and SEB, with delivery partners Bain, Crypto BLK, and R3. And at its press release, Standard Chartered said that it was able to digitize and simplify the end-to-end exchange of information between all parties in the transaction on the Voltron platform, including the issuance, advising, and negotiation of LC and presentation of documents. The pilot transaction marks the first of many that will follow from our participation in Voltron to digitize trade and enhance the client journey, said Samuel Matthew, Global Head, Documentary Trade Product Management at Standard Chartered Bank. Next, this is a really cool find by XRP Darren. So we actually have the document here, and if you just Control F for Ripple on blockchain technology and related implications, prepared for AMIS in May of 2017, find Ripple right under the payments. So let's check this out. So insurance companies are exploring blockchain across multiple areas. Now, when we look at payments, we see Mastercard, cross-border B2B payments and remittance, blockchain-based payments, and smart tags for predefined events under insurance policy allows for increasingly eased reimbursement experience as well as speed of funds received. Ripple Payments blockchain solution. Awesome. Very, very cool. And as we can see here, right underneath this, I Am Legion just talks about the HomeSend, connection. So HomeSend again, and MoneyGram, the Ripple partner. So we got MoneyGram to connect to HomeSend. We already are aware of, who owns what and what kind of partnerships there are between this, but it's always good just to see that proof and that solid reminder. All right, additional speculation. And then lastly, we're going to finish off with this. So I'm just going to say Otto Gunger or Gunger. I'm going to say Gunger. So sorry, man, if you hear me, correct me when I'm wrong, and I'll apologize and I'll pronounce it correctly in future videos. But Otto Gunger. August 2nd, 2019, GovOps announces blockchain working group members. Secretary Botcher names Camille Crittenden as chair. As we can see here, this is very cool, and this is the point that I try to make in every single video. Distributed ledger systems hold promising opportunities not only for cryptocurrency, but for areas of social impact to truly make a difference, such as documenting land and property rights, ensuring chain of custody for legal evidence in supply chains, and giving consumers greater control of their financial and health data, applications in utilities like energy and water, and more, said Chair Crittenden. I am honored to lead this important working group on possible blockchain applications for the state of California. Now, this is good news. Why? Because you know that blockchain DLT technology is here to stay. Also, there's a huge push on, the IOV, the Internet of Value. We are transferring value, and this is the next revolution that we're going through. There's only one way to transfer value on, DLT networks, and it's cryptocurrency. So there's different ways that cryptocurrencies appreciate. Of course, the bottom line is demand and scarcity, but there's different ways. Some, organizations and businesses have to own a good amount of cryptocurrency to run nodes so that they can process and be a client for this business, hence increasing the value. Same thing with XRP. They're going to be, owning a lot of XRP as well for, XRapid. Of course, there's other use cases like Coil, and web monetization. But again, guys, each cryptocurrency is entirely unique to an extent. Different, proof of work, proof of stake, proof of consensus, different mechanisms. And there's a whole handful. But again, I really only understand like 4. So this is a big future. If nonetheless, this is validating the future of cryptocurrency, cryptography, the future of digital assets, and tokenizing all of these assets, tokenized securities in the future. Asset fractionalization, when we're able to split up different assets and get all kinds of benefits from that. R3 writes a great newsletter and articles about that as well. So guys, the future is bright. There's a lot of technicalities. Not everybody knows how this is going to unfold, but I'm just showing you that the momentum is picking up day in and day out, and we are seeing this happen. You might not be seeing it in the, reflected in the price right now, and that's okay. This is a part of anything. New technologies are completely volatile. If you've been in the cryptocurrency space for a while, you might see a huge bull market. Then you will see a 2-year or 1-year bear market, and everyone loses hope. Then it repeats again. Massive, massive bull market that could, last 3 months or a year or 2 years. And then all of a sudden, boom, you're back to a 2-year bear market. And right now, we are 20 months into a bear market? It's getting disheartening. I understand that, because seeing the prices go up, that's, a great feeling. But at the same time, I've been through this. I've seen this day in and day out. History does repeat itself to an extent, and I'm prepared. So I know a lot of you are as well, and hopefully we all have the same mindset. But comment down below your thoughts, what your expectations are, and back them up and maybe ask some good questions, and we'll start a thread down below. So with that, guys, hit that like button, definitely subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.